Good morning, everybody. I'm Luke Sullivan with Transwest Truck Trailer RV, right off Interstate 25, 30 minutes north of Denver, depending on traffic. You can't miss us. We've got a ton of inventory on the lot. It's summertime. We've got a ton of inventory moving, meaning a ton of new inventory. New trailers coming in, brand new from the factory. So behind me today, one that came in on Saturday, I believe, is a 2025 two-horse Logan Bullseye in charcoal. So kind of a really nice standout dark gray finish on this trailer. Looks really nice, all cleaned up, brand new from the factory too. So a little different from the standard white, but still a really nice little runaround trailer, or a really nice first trailer if you're looking to gain some independence and get on the road with your horses and do the like. So no matter you're used to a gooseneck and you're just getting this for a runaround to supplement an LQ, or you're a first time horse trailer getting involved in this, a lot of things you need to know here, but we can give you a quick rundown. Logan does a 2 5/16 inch ball on the coupler. Really nice Demco coupler, makes it really easy to hook these up. And then they do a safety that goes across as well. That's for when you're traveling, and then to disconnect. Simple as raising that guy up. We do heavy duty safety chains as kind of a fail safe if we ever have any kind of issues with our hitch. So these connect to our tow vehicle. They're meant to be crossed, and especially out here in Colorado where we have some fire risk summertime, really important to make sure that you shorten these chains up. Just give them a little twist and that'll shorten them up for us and keep those from dragging on the road and making any sparks. And hiding underneath here, that's kind of nicely coiled away for the time being, is your breakaway switch as well. So breakaway cable, it'll pull out again if you ever have any kind of issues. It is a 7-pin connector over here. It's going to be pretty standard equipment on all of our late model trucks and everything that we see going down the road these days. So very, very common system with this. And that's going to run everything from our running lights to our turn signals to our electric brakes. Both axles have electric brakes, so we'll talk a little bit about that when we get into it. Manual hand crank jack. Transwest can do a lot of different things for you. If you want to add a ramp to a trailer, if you want to add some saddle racks, we carry that kind of stuff in our parts department. Same with a jack. If you want to add an electric jack to this and your days of hand cranking are over, we understand. They make a really nice jack though now, so these are pretty easy to crank, but we can always add that for you. You'll get a battery service with that on these trailers, so you can run some lights even when you're not hooked to a tow vehicle. So working our way around to our tack room. Not really losing any amenities here. So we talk a lot about different options in a tack room and how we can lay them out and the setup of them. And a lot of these bumper pulls turn out to be very similar, especially with the slant load wall, with the space that you have to work in. So first and foremost, before we even get inside the tack room, we've got some storage. We've got some ways to keep ourselves a little more organized sitting right outside here. First and foremost, some blanket rods here, some blankets pad rolls, excuse me. Really nice way. They're just double-ended snapped on here, so we can swing these guys out. Nice to be able to let them air out if you're going to be parked for a little while. Hang some sweaty pads on there. And then when you are traveling, when you're getting ready to shut things up, it's as simple as a double-ended snap on some D-rings. And then you've got a brush tray down here. We're certainly going to use it for those easy to grab things, those things you want to grab first when you pull out to the show, whether it's fly spray, a little bit of show sheen, something like that. Nice to have easy access to it with this door. First thing, like I said, when you grab it as you're pulling out. Now, swing out saddle rack. So this guy goes in and out. It's on a pretty heavy gas shock, so it's a little bit better when you get some weight on it. They're a little stiff as is. But first and foremost, I'm not a tall guy. This one down here is below my chest height. Makes it really easy to throw a big saddle up here. I can even actually tempt fate a little bit and lower it some more. And we have an imaginary girth and stirrups hanging down there crossing the door, but I can also lower this one way down to it as well. So I can get these at a very manageable height for me or anybody else to use. We've obviously got a lot of extra space up there too. We could add another rack on this if you felt you could squeeze them all on there, and then you have that ability, one that you're not going to use very often, or maybe it's a friend's that you're stowing for them, let them grab it if they're a bit taller. But nice to be able to have this right here, again, at ground level. You don't have to fight your way into the tack room, tripping over stirrups, tripping over billets and girths and all that kind of stuff, and it makes life a lot easier. And then just swing it right back in, like we said. No pins or anything for storage. Sits right like that with a gas shock. And then stepping into the tack room, got a lot going on in here too. So first and foremost, we are a carpeted floor. Nice to be able to, we can pull this out really easily too if we need to clean it out, but easy to sweep out. And then looking around the inside of this trailer, looking around to all these Logans, you'll start seeing this Vortex liner. A lot like a truck bed liner. Their proprietary liner, Vortex, do a lot of cool videos with it. They coat an empty pop can and have a fella stand on it and it doesn't collapse. They throw a cinder block from a few stories up and it doesn't break apart. So they think very highly of this, and so do we. We see it on all the goosenecks to the drop walls right behind our pickups, on a lot of customers that are running on gravel roads, and it holds up really well. We never say it wouldn't ship, but again, like I said, it holds up really well. And on the Logans, we'll see this, it'll become a theme. We'll see it in the horse area, we'll see it on the hitch. We did already, we didn't talk about it, but then we'll see it throughout the horse area and on the undercarriage of the trailer. Real quick, before we work our way up to some other things, we do have a full-size matching spare wheel and tire here. So this is aluminum. We've got it spun around just to save face on it a little bit more, but matches identically to the tires that we have on the trailer. So if you have a blowout, if something happens, nice to be able to have that instead of having that mismatched steel wheel, especially if you're paying for those aluminum wheels. Nice to have that option. So on our partition wall back here, talked about the Vortex liner on the bottom. On the top half, we've got carpeting. We've all seen the used trailers with the big U-shaped marks, whether they're steel trailers, aluminum trailers, painted. Every single trailer that's going down the road that has a few miles, that you've hung a few things from these racks, from these hooks, we've seen it. So first and foremost, I think it's great for resale. We're not going to see those marks anymore, obviously, with this carpet. Holds up really well to that. Nothing to mark or mar up. And then secondarily, really nice sound deadener too. So horses are right on the other side of this wall, obviously, and certainly on those metal trailers that we're making and banging a lot of noise down the road. As it is, if you've got some big headgear here, a lot of bits and bridles and halters with metal shanks and snaps and that kind of stuff too, you're gonna make a lot of noise on the other side of this wall. So nice to have that additionally too. So, and then really from side to side almost, we did stop it there just before that tank, but we've got bridle hooks spanning the width of the trailer nearly. So you've got a lot of options. These are really nice deep hooks too, so we're not seeing all of our stuff landed on the floor and ended up in a big heap when we get to our next stop down the road. You'll see a hose hanging here. This is a little 10-foot hose. Complements this corner tank for us. Really nice to bring some water from home. Whether you're on a long road trip across the country and want to be able to offer some water at some gas stations and not have to frantically search for it, or you're going to a trail ride where you don't know what your water access will be, really nice to be able to bring some with you. You have a couple different options about getting water out of there. Obviously, you can fit a 5-gallon bucket right underneath that brown spigot there. Really nice just to fill them up. It's all gravity fed. And then the lower yellow spigot with a shutoff, you can very easily hook your 10-foot hose to and run that guy outside and fill up some buckets that way. All gravity fed, like I said, and really nice to have some water to bring home with you. LEDs throughout the trailer as well. We've got switches here just above that tank. They're gonna run our interior light here for us. And then they're also gonna run the floodlight that's just outside of the tack room. So you've got a bit of individual control over that. We've got 3 other floodlights around the rear and sides of the trailer to help you with tacking up and loading and that kind of thing. They're controlled at the rear corner of the trailer. We'll take a look at those when we get to them. Close up this tack room door just to give you a good look at the charcoal again. I think it sets these trailers apart. We've all seen a white horse trailer go down the road, so I like that we have options now. Really, really looks nice. Now, we're all used to seeing the Logans. We've got some big oversized bus windows here at hip side. We can move a lot of air through these trailers. Summertime, we're gonna be in the mid-90s today. We're certainly going to want to open this thing wide up. So nice to have the oversized bus windows. Got big tire rings here. We got a couple on this side and a floodlight above those. So if you are tacking up early in the morning, late at night, you have a bit of light to see what you're doing and help you out. And then again, right next to your tack room, make life really easy with your saddle swung out. Grab your tack. Whether you're tacking up or untacking, gonna be a pretty easy process. Talk about running gear real quick. These are twin 3,500 pound Dexter torsion axles. with electric drum brakes. So each wheel and tire is equipped with a braking axle. Each axle is a braking axle. What you want to be sure of, whether this is going to be a very half-ton towable type trailer, even your larger SUVs would be very comfortable towing this trailer, but you always want to be sure that you have control over those brakes. So you might have the plug, but you might not have the trailer brake controller in the vehicle itself. So a lot of times now in our newer vehicles that are integrated from the factory, but if you do have one that's not, it's something we can still add, something that we've been adding to trucks for a very, very long time. So want to be able to be sure that you have control over those brakes, and it's a fluid setting too. It's not always going to be the same. Again, before I open up the back of the trailer, I'll give you another nice look at the charcoal finish on this trailer. Again, I think it sets them apart a little bit. Couple things we got going on back here before I swing both these doors open. We talked LEDs, we talked floodlights and interior lights. All of our running lights, all of our marker lights, our signal lights are also LEDs, so very low power draw, going to be nice for our tow vehicle. And then secondarily, Logan does a nice job in the center of our brake light here. We've got a white LED too, so acts as a reverse light. Nothing changes with that 7-pin connection. It stayed the same, always been there, but nice to be able to have that shine a little bit of light on things that we're doing back here. Like we said, tacking up and stuff and getting ready for shows. It's either late at night or early in the morning, so nice to be able to have a bit of extra light. Get this guy opened up for you. You'll see straight away rubber matted floor. Logan is coating everything as we see around us in that Vortex liner, including the wood flooring. So standard wood flooring, it's one of those things, we've been using it for a very long time with a bit of good housekeeping and a bit of maintenance and keeping an eye on things and not letting any kind of moisture sit on these especially. These floors are going to last you a very, very, very long time. If you're doing your regular maintenance, when you do brakes and bearings and that kind of stuff, we suggest taking a peek at your floor, pulling your mats out and having a look. But otherwise, again, like I said, the wood floors with that Vortex lining on them gonna last a very long time. Vortex lining on our kick walls, Vortex lining on our doors really speaks to how they think of it and the use of it. Now, we have a telescoping divider here for a reason. Enables us to get this divider, if I push it in a little bit farther, enables us to get that divider all the way up against this driver's side wall so that we can pin it right here. We've got a double-ended snap and we can hold it over there. And then whether you're loading a horse on an extreme side hill and this wants to keep coming over to you and you need both hands to get them loaded and tied up, and to get this closed back up, you want to just hold it over there for a minute. Or whether you want to haul somebody in here free and want to kind of use it as a box tow, you can do that. Or if you have a mare and foal in here, be very plausible to do something like that as well. And then you kind of make it multi-purpose this way too. If you've got an ATV you want to run in here to run the service, you have that option. So looking around, you'll see more and more Vortex liner up above our bus windows. We've got our LED interior lights. Again, main switches on the rear post of the trailer, but you do have individual control over them as well. So if you wanted to pop one on, if you were doing some late night travel or something like that, and leave the other off, you absolutely could. Working our way around. Big bus windows here on the driver's side. They are screened in right now with a nice little mesh screen. We like that quite a bit. Just protects a little bit more from that small road debris, anything coming up. And then certainly real easy to remove. We've had a lot of customers say, oh, my horse is a little mouthy. Maybe that wouldn't last so long. Real easy to remove that. A couple of Velcro straps on the bottom and then sewed in quarters on the top. It's real simple to pull off of there. And then with those drop down windows and those jail bars there, we can move a ton of air over our horses this way. And then right above those windows, nice little tie rail, whether we're tying our horses or a hay net, something like that. And then farther above that, we've got our roof vent as well. These Logans I can actually reach, which is pretty handy for me. On a day like today, it would open both of those just like that, running down the interstate, even moving down a side road or a country road at 30 or 40 miles an hour. You're gonna move a lot of air in over your horse's back and hopefully keep them a lot more comfortable. So a lot of different options in here. padded dividers with the drop windows. Gives you a lot of versatility with this trailer too, to be able to pin this guy over here. And then again, like I said, all of our surfaces in here coated in that Vortex liner too. So we'll work our way around to the driver's side. We'll get a good look at those drop down windows and the jail bars that hold those as well. Close this guy up again and just give you another look. I like the charcoal quite a bit. I guess I might be a little partial to it. Control for your lights as well. This will be for your interior LEDs and the exterior floodlights around the side, except for the one there at the tack room. So we've got these drop down right now. You see the mesh screens in here. They don't restrict much airflow at all. Just an added little barrier. But to give you an idea of the space that you're opening up to allow airflow through for them, would only want to drop these jail bars down if we're at a stop, we're offering some hay, or we're getting ready to load or unload. But a lot of space with those windows with these drop downs. And then the jail bars, mechanical latch. It's just a spring loaded bar right here in the middle. Pull it down, it pulls the bars in from either side, and you can drop this down just like that, and you're good to go. And then of course, we're all talking about being hot in summertime. I think I've started to sweat already today, and it's not even 8:30, but we can close these up tight too. If it's 20 degrees out, we certainly don't want to be blasting our horses in the face with all of that air. So you have that option to utilize the smaller bus window too, just to get a little fresh air going over them again and not blast them with that full wintertime air. One thing you'll notice too is I was pulling both of those drop windows back up. Big suction cup on these to hold these down. And really, I've seen a lot of these drop windows flap in the wind. Nice to be able to have that positive kind of hold down to these. Not gonna see these flapping around. I've seen them even in extreme crosswinds come all the way closed and slam closed. And the only reason I noticed is because the horse spooked. So fun little fact on those. Nice to be able to hold those down tight. So if you guys have any questions about these trailers, the smaller Logan bumper pulls, we can get you weights on those if that's something you're concerned about. If you're in a larger SUV or a half ton and want to know a lot about that, we can give you that kind of information. If you have questions about tow vehicles, we can help you out there a little bit. Please feel free to reach out to me. My email's down below, luke.sullivan@transwest.com. My cell phone, feel free to call or text me, 859-509-1282. If you have questions specifically about this trailer, you can reference it on our website. Stock number is 5N250-600. Thanks for your time today, everybody. También hablo español.